We're back.
Not yet. You got to wait till the lights come on.
We're back.
Now you can say we're back. So we're back. And if y'all finding this link, thank you for being dedicated to it and having coffee with us.
Sorry about
It's a pain. And we do have a storm. Sherry said we got a storm moving in.
We got a storm moving in.
Moving in. Um, Hang on, let me to second try. There we go. Okay, I sent it. I'm going to close this now so it don't pop up. There we go. So we were just talking about the journey of getting here, and if you've heard the story before, I apologize. There you are. Good morning, sweetie. Speaking of Sherry, we've got a prepper meeting tomorrow. I don't know if y'all are planning on coming. I think we're doing a an overview of gas mask, which we don't have one. Maybe we should get one.
A gas mask?
A gas. I know I need one living with you. Stick around. I'll be here all day. I remember those drills growing up, when Russia was going to bomb us, and somehow we were safe under those little wooden desks from a nuclear fallout.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. And now a little piece of cloth mask can't even protect us from the most deadliest virus, but here we go.
N95.
Yeah. I missed that reference. So anyhow, here it goes. Long story short, I'll try. We were living happy as can be in Polly's Island, but not really happy. We were kind of prisoners where we were living because we were on the path that we wanted, that we felt that we needed to be on. We were gardening, we had livestock, everything was good. The county came in, changed all the laws. It was a long, drawn out mess. We got rid of pretty much everything, and they sucked the life right out of us. And then the neighborhood changes. I mean, change is going to happen whether we like it or not. And our quiet little best kept secret in Polly's Island was no longer a secret. And new people that wanted vacation homes, affordable vacation homes close to the beach, were buying the homes where our neighbors had passed away and the kids didn't want it. And they got offered a good chunk of change for the money or for the land, and they were building these like great big beach homes on pylons, and they'd come in and party for the weekend and then leave. And here, our property was in the family since 1970. We bought it in 97, 1997, 98. Um, and had lived there for over 20 years. Now these yahoos came in from out of town and was just completely upturning our life. And it just so happened during this whole time, God had placed on Timmy's heart, get your family out of the city and move to the mountains. And he didn't place it on my heart. Never, not once. But I knew enough about the Lord and trusted my husband that I'm like, okay. And then we presented it to our children. Our older two children actually had the choice, Gavin and Morgan. They had a choice to stay. They could stay with my mother. Gavin could have stayed with his biological father, or go with us. And we told him, we don't know what this is like. We plan on living off grid. We might be living in a tent for a while. We don't even know where we're going to move to. Like, we listed our house without even knowing where we would move to. And um, it took us a year to get the house ready. But in that year, we added new roof. We added all new roof, a new bedroom, remodeled bathroom, finished 20 years worth of unfinished projects. And it was beautiful. And it was everything I ever wanted it to be my entire life of living there.
Well, yeah, it got remodeled, updated, and
It was beautiful.
we did it so it would be
Appealing. We did it appealing to the buyer.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So what?
Although we liked it aesthetically, every time I painted a wall, I'm like, this isn't for me. This isn't,
Yeah.
This is for the potential buyer. Like,
Yeah.
I was disconnecting myself when we painted over our kids' markings and, their memories of them growing up and being born in that home.
Mm-hmm.
each step, I was disconnecting myself from the home itself. I was taking the memories, but disconnecting myself from the home that we had built from scratch.
Yeah.
And then we listed it on a Friday. We were at it was Morgan's birthday celebration. We were up at the beach in Myrtle Beach. We had a staycation. And the real estate agent called us and said, "We've got a full price cash offer. They want to move here in 2 weeks." I'm like, "Huh?" I mean, we hadn't even begun packing. Nothing. I thought for sure it'd be months on the market. And they said, "Yeah, they got this. They love your home. They fell in love with it. I've got a full price cash offer. They want you out in 2 weeks." So we literally went home, packed up, and took a weekend vacation to Tennessee. No, we started in Western North Carolina and then Eastern Tennessee and drove the whole, it's not a coastline, but I call it a coastline, the whole border going all the way down to see where God was calling us to be.
Yeah.
Hang on, go ahead and talk. I've been horribly sick for 2 weeks. Won't be there. Gas masks are a good thing to have. Really came in handy during wildfires with heavy smoke. Oh, that's a good idea, Sherry. And if you've got a link to wherever you got yours, and you might have gotten it from someone you know, send it to me. I'm sure Kat will have recommendations tomorrow. And if you need anything for you to feel better, let me know because we're coming to town tomorrow and I can drop it off. And I won't forget. So
Yeah.
let me know. But anyhow, back to the thing. The selling part really built, I say it really built my faith. It tested my faith. They said we'll go through tests and tribulations, and doggone it, that was one of them. But God came through every single time. The buyers were horrible. The wife was like a Satanist. Literally, her artwork was like the third eye, vampire sucking blood out of kids. I mean, it was just horrific stuff. And I had a hard time with it. They tried to cancel the sale after the kids quit their jobs back and forth 3 or 4 times. We had to threaten to get an attorney. They tried to pull up everything out the woodwork they could to sabotage everything. And then we canceled it. And then they changed their mind because then if we canceled it, then they could sue us for the value of our home. And so we had no choice at the end to go through with the sale, even though I didn't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it came at the 11th hour on a Friday on closing day at 4:55 before the banks closed for us to hand over the key. And lo and behold, the wire companies closed early on Fridays. So we came to Tennessee with literally like no money because we spent all of our nest egg on fixing up our house. Not only that,
No, I mean we had a little bit of money. I
tiny
mean, we
little
were
bit.
able to get here and
Gas and food and stuff, but we didn't have enough to pay for the hotel for the 2 weeks that we had it booked because we were relying on the closing. Now, mind you, we were debt free, so all the money from our closing was all of our cash.
Yeah.
Like that was our new nest egg. But even so, we broke down. We were almost to Tennessee. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. No, we were right over the Tennessee border. No gas stations, no lights, no cell service, and our brakes went out in the middle of the mountains. And you have literally the road and cliff.
we were going through the gorge, I think.
We were going through the gorge, and it was horrific, and there was no other cars, and the brakes went out. And I had pretty much a mental breakdown and panic attack, and Timmy's like, his faith was still unshook, and he's like, "Let me drive." And I'm like yelling, I'm like, "The brakes aren't going to work anymore for you than they did for me." I was beat at this point in time with all the closing stuff and packing and driving and packing a house in 2 weeks. Not only did we have to pack a whole 20 years worth of 2 weeks, it was literally just me and the kids because Timmy had to finish construction jobs that we promised our clients we would do. So he worked all day and went home, and then he'd come home and he had to try to box up at night. And he got behind the wheel. We made it to the hotel. Then the hotel says, "Oh, your car declined." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I have enough money in there." He goes, "No, we have to charge you for the entire time that you're going to stay." I think we had it booked for like 3 weeks at that time. and it was several $1,000s. And I'm like, and he goes, I said, what do I do? He goes, well, I have to cancel your reservation and I can give you one night tonight, but then we have no more bookings for the rest of the time that you're here. It went from that, and this is like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning at this point in time. We're exhausted mentally, physically. And we get into the hotel room. The next morning, we go out to move the car, and the brake lines are busted, and there's fluid all over the ground. We don't know. It was a God thing how we got there alive, safe. And it just so happened the hotel was right across the street from an Advanced Auto.
Yeah. So yeah, we went to across the street to Advance. The guy gave me a phone number.
Jesse Redness is where I got our gas mask. Oh, okay, thank you. Go ahead.
The guy gave me a phone number to a gentleman that lived down the road and directions, and we drove to his place, and he fixed it, charged us $50, and
Offered him a job.
Offered me a job, and we were back on our way.
And that was March 31st, because the next day was Easter of all days. Like the best holiday of the year. And it was April Fool's Day on top of everything. And here we are 7 years later. And we had to stay, we had to live in the hotel for a couple of weeks. Like I think it was 3 weeks. We got on our property, and no, it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And it might have been 3 weeks we're at the hotel, but we were able to get on our property to start cleaning it up before that.
Yeah.
Because we came here several days to clean it up. And that was a trip in itself, all those stories and memories with that. But we weren't even here 2 months, and we got the message to film for Building Off the Grid. And we filmed the build of this home. And then after that, right when we were finished up filming in November of 2018, we got the book deal to write Beekeeping for Beginners. That did really, really well. And then, and we didn't move into this house, though, into our home. We stayed in the itty bitty cabin down in the holler that my mama lives in now until May of 2019. Like the house was built in here for half a year before we moved into it because our solar wasn't hooked up.
The mice moved into it before we did.
And when we moved here, up here, Gavin decided to stay in the cabin by himself. Well, I say by himself. Morgan stayed there too. He was old enough. He wanted to stay by himself. And that was, even though we built the room for him, and that was fine. And then Morgan decided to stay there too at the cabin. So it was just me, Timmy, and Lyndon up here for a while until Morgan eventually did come up here and live with us for a little bit before she moved out. And she moved out the week of her 21st birthday. So it's been, the week of her 20th birthday. And it's been 4 years this month. Matter of fact, speaking of Morgan, she came and spent the night before last for the first time in 4 years since she moved out.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Feels like full circle, y'all. I mean, it just, Gavin and Ashlyn. Let's go back. So we moved up. Then we had our second book offer, which was Raising Goats for Beginners. Then we had 2 more book offers, and they were chicken breeds and the intermediate guide to raising chickens. So we did those 4 books. Then we filmed a follow-up to Building Off the Grid. It was Building Off the Grid, Where Are They Now? That was during COVID.